How's it going, everybody? And welcome to some more Phantom Hourglass. In today's video, we're going to be going through the Temple of Wind. Originally, I recorded this first part, getting to the island, and then doing the island itself as its own little separate video, but it's kind of a short little segment, so I just thought I would put them both together, both the island traversal, as well as the temple itself. So that is going to be what today's video is about. Now, I really like this temple, having played through it again. Last time was quite a few years ago, but I feel like a lot of things in this game, or in Spirit Tracks, you just appreciate more as an adult. Now, that could be in part because I'm better at video games, and I wasn't exactly the greatest when I was younger, but still, I would say I had a good amount of skill for a little 7-year-old. Anyways, I'm not a 7-year-old anymore. At least I don't think. Maybe mentally, but not physically. So, traversing the island, you do have to deal with this constant wind, which I don't know where it comes from, because it kind of comes in bursts. Sort of like in Majora's Mask, when that Goron just kept on, like, breathing or whatever on, like, the giant one over by Snowhead. Or the Snow Peak in that game. I cannot remember. I always get those two confused, but whatever it is, Majora's Mask. I want to say it's Snowhead. That sounds right. Yeah, he was invisible for some reason too. I don't know if that was ever explained or not, but he was invisible, so maybe there's just giant Goron chilling in the water, and that's the reason that we keep getting blown around so much. I really don't know. Whatever the case may be, I hope that if it is a Goron, he gets better, and if it's not a Goron, okay. So there's a few power gems. Oh, no, I keep saying power gems. There's a few gems we're going to be getting in this video, so we're slowly inching towards getting some decent upgrades going, but our first upgrade is going to be the power gem upgrade. This little map you can see here to the right is marking the secret islands and then pointing the arrow to where the fisherman dude is, right at that island. So in case you can find those hidden islands on your own, you have a resource here. But otherwise, that is all that's there to that room, with a nice little courage gem. So we just want to wait for the wind, and you could jump both, but I decided to play it safe and wait so I didn't fall off. Let me hop down here, and there's a bunch of diggable spots in this area. For the most part, I think they're all just like geysers. I think that's the right word. Oh no, I guess this might be the wrong area. So I guess you get rupees from them. So make sure you dig these up. And then, before we continue up here, we can head on this cave here, and we're going to find ourselves some enemies. Now, I don't remember where this cave leads, so we're about to find this out again together. Oh no, I remember. You have to kill all the enemies down there, and then a little treasure chest up here. See, there already is a treasure chest, but wait, there's more, because you gotta kill the enemies first. And we get ourselves a nice little wisdom gem there. Might be one more gem, otherwise I think it's just gonna be some treasure. But maybe it's some rupees too. I mean, rupees are always nice, right? And the kind of unfortunate thing is, well, it's a treasure map, that a lot of these rupees are gonna be, unfortunately, spent very soon, because there's an upgrade that we can get, which will be, I think, for this dungeon's item. No, I don't think it's this dungeon's item. Or maybe, yeah, it might be. But the upgrade actually cost 1,000 rupees, so we're going to have to spend a lot of money, unfortunately. But it's okay. Find ourselves a nice little 100 rupee there. And we're kind of at a point, I think, where grinding for rupees is kind of less tedious now that we have access to a few more islands. Some of the dig spots, they might respawn the rupees, so that might be a way to get some rupees going. Otherwise, there are some mini games later on, which will allow you to get treasure and whatnot, and then you can just sell the treasure for rupees. you just kind of got to do whatever you feel like doing in this game, you know? If you feel like selling stuff, sell stuff. If you feel like cutting bushes, by all means, you can just keep on cutting bushes. Now, it might take forever to get everything you need. This is the area with all the geysers I was talking about. It might take forever to get everything you need, but you still have multiple ways to get rupees in this game, so it's not overly tedious like what's a Zelda game that's tedious to get money. I guess Zelda 1's kind of tedious once you get all those secret areas out of the way, but I don't know, maybe Zelda 2? I can't remember if there's rupees in that game or not. I have never played a full playthrough of Zelda 2. I think that is the only mainline game that I've never completed. I've started playing it, but I've just never felt the need to really play through the game. But, you know, one of these days I might get around to it. We'll just see how things go. Whether or not that's going to be on the channel is an entirely different story. I'm leaning more towards no, but you never know. Maybe it will end up on the channel. Probably not, though. And we got ourselves another 100 rupees. How nice. So this little map here is going to be telling us where windmills are. At least I think, yeah, they're windmills. And we need to blow the precise windmills, otherwise we can't progress. So make sure you blow those ones specifically. I don't know what happens. Oh, must drop something. I don't know what happens if you don't blow these ones. We just got perished there. You can also dig down, dig away. I don't know what the proper phrase would be, but you can dig away. We'll say that the geysers that you don't want to be there, which is nice because then it prevents you from falling to your drowning death. These suckers in the sand, whatever this is, I think it's sand. They can only be killed by bombs, at least for the moment. Now, we don't have bombs, so we do have to play it safe. Which, as you can see, I'm not the greatest at. Especially considering that I have not mastered rolling. But, who knows, due time, maybe I will. You'll just have to see. And it does seem that you can throw the bombs as little distractions, and they'll eat them up, and that'll kill them right away, which is nice. And you do sometimes have to bait them out a little bit, but for the most part, they're easy to run away from, assuming that you don't just like pull a counter and just decide, I'm gonna try and kill it. But fortunately, that attempt did kill it successfully, so no problems there. And then once you start clearing some of the enemies away, we can start blowing in the windmills. And I find this a really cool puzzle because it makes use of the 3DS microphone, well, a DS microphone originally, and it's like a whole wind-based island. Now, the only super extra amazing thing would be if like your 3DS could actually blow wind at you. That'd be really cool, but I don't think there's any fans in a 3DS because I think they like somehow make it so it only stays below a certain temperature, even like on the most stressful games. I don't know how that works. If anyone's watching this far, please let me know how that works. And as I said before, the way to get the windmills going is just blow on them with your 3DS microphone, DS microphone. If you're on the Wii U, I think there's a microphone there as well that you just blow into. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is because they have that whole little video chat thingy. So I'm assuming you just blow on the microphone there. And then we just have one more windmill, and we can try and kill some of these guys, but I don't think my attempts were successful. Yeah, so you just want to run for it, basically, because they only do a heart of damage, assuming you get out in time. But we can kill that guy there, fortunately, and then the temple entrance is going to be opened after it's blown to this. I don't know if it needs like a super blow or not. I think it just needs to register that you're blowing, and then it'll open. And then we have a little shortcut back to the entrance from this way, and a little, I guess, pathway on the right as well. I don't know if there's anything that we really need up there. And I think this, yeah, that was just to tell you the hint for the windmill, which we no longer need because the temple is open. And now we can make our way into the Wind Temple, or the Temple of Wind, I believe it's called. So, head on in. And of course, we're greeted by the normal dungeon music, which, I don't know, some places I feel it fits better than others. Like Temple of the Ocean King, I would say it fits better than a normal temple. Um, and spoiler alert, later on, when we get to the Ghost Ship, it actually plays there as well, so I guess they just weren't really in the mood for making new dungeon tracks in this game, which I was gonna say Ocarina of Time didn't, but yeah, it did. They did have separate tracks. At least for the adult portion. The youngling portion, I guess, was kind of their own. I mean, Jabba Jabba had its own. Deku Tree, I guess you could say it had its own, because that's the first time you encounter that music, so technically the Grottos copy the music. And I guess the Dango's Cavern didn't really, so. But still, unique theme for each dungeon. Just not something that they did here, which, if anyone knows why that is, feel free to let me know. I might actually look it up after this video, see what I can figure out, because I'm curious. I can't remember. I think Spirit Tracks did its own temple themes, though. So I don't know what the case was here that they chose not to. Because the composers are usually, like, really invested in the games, I feel like. So I don't know why they would have had an issue just making new tracks, but maybe it was a limited time thing, but I don't think this game was rushed, so I don't know. I don't know what the case was. Got some ropes to fight here, and that was a very short battle, which I feel like this was more tailored towards kids compared to some of the other games. Like, for sure, Minish Cap. I feel like this game is more tailored towards kids than even Minish Cap was. But yeah, Zelda games just, I feel like they switch in between, like, who they're meant for. For example, Zelda 1, I guess that was kind of for everyone. I mean, kids could just enjoy the fact that it's a video game. You get to slash around things, you get to discover stuff. Zelda 2, I feel like, was more teen-based. You know, grown child, that sort of thing. Link to the Past, I wouldn't say was fully for, like, super young people. Not saying kids didn't play it. Like, heck, I played A Link to the Past when I was 3 years old. I just feel like, in terms of figuring out how to, like, progress through the main story, I don't think A Link to the Past really was. I mean, granted, they did mark stuff on your map and whatnot, but still, 3-year-old me could not make it very far. I made it through Hyrule Castle. I think I may have made my way to the first dungeon, and I played on the GBA version. Not that that's really too big of a difference in terms of, like, story and whatnot, but I could figure some stuff out. Twilight Princess, I feel, is kind of that weird one where it feels straightforward overall, but I guess I don't know, might not be the most straightforward thing in the world. But in this room, we do have some shoes with rocks in their head, and for some reason, throwing the bomb at the rock doesn't kill them. It just wakes them up, which is a little strange. But it is what it is, you know? We do kill them, either way. And I always wonder, like, what if these little suckers are just defending their home, and Link's the whole intruder here? Like, what if they don't even care that he's after the fairies? They're just here because this is their house. I don't know. I don't think so, because they seem evil overall. And they all attack Link unprovoked, so we'll assume they're all in the wrong, and that Link is in the right. I don't remember if there's anything for killing all these Bokoblins, Moblins, whatever they're called. I think they're Bokoblins. We'll find out. Because some areas, they usually give you a little treasure chest or something. But some areas, they don't really do anything. And I guess there was nothing for this area, but we do want to step on the switch over there. After we, oh yeah, there's nothing there. I thought there was a geyser hidden behind there, but there wasn't. And that's key on what to do next, or a little hint, I guess. The two wings being the windmills. There's one up there we just saw, and then there's another one, I believe, below it. Another courage gem, which I feel like they could have done more with the courage gem. Granted, we haven't seen the usage yet, or I haven't put it in the videos yet, but just for a sword beam, it's kind of lame. You know, I feel like the sword beam should have been something that the later sword that we get in the game does, but for whatever the reason, it wasn't. It's separate to a gem reward, which is not in Spirit Tracks, so I don't know. I don't know what happened. And that is the wrong spot for that block, because it just puts us there, so make sure you put it on the top row first. Or the row above what we just did, not the top row. And then we can make some progress. You don't have to start from the front geyser, you just gotta go from the one below it. See, I almost went to the bottom. I was like, no, we don't need to do that. So you can probably guess what the dungeon item is going to be based on everything we've been using so far. And you don't have to pay these suckers for the bomb or the treasure chest locations, just guys. They're greedy. I don't know what species they are, but those suckers are just beyond greedy, and it's horrendous, so don't give them your money. I mean, the treasure chests are easy enough to figure out yourself, and sometimes you just gotta accept the challenge, you know? So, now we have to dig up more stuff, and these little tiles are our safe zones from those, I don't know what they are. I don't think they're levers, but they're evil. So, we start off by slowly unburying the geysers, or wind spouts, whatever you want to call them, because we do need to make some progress. I had a little hiccup there. Once again, you can use the bombs to lure these suckers out, or if you're a daredevil, you can just let the suckers eat you while you slowly make your way around, which is kind of what I do. Not that I'm a daredevil, it's just that I'm so scared of these guys because they like eating Link. And Link does not like being eaten, so I do my best to avoid them, try to kill them when I can. But it's not always successful, you know? They do like to fight back. I always like that little expression it gives Link when you have to do the little rub event. Always the shocked face. And a question for you guys. Would you consider Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass to be long games? If you do consider them to be long games, do you still consider them to be long games, like removing the navigation parts, like sailing and going on the trains? Personally, I think I'd have to say I do consider them somewhat long games, and you'll notice that little cut I did there. I had to pause it for a second. I do consider them long games. Just, I don't know, it feels like it's bigger than Link's Awakening. Heck, it might even be bigger than Minish Cap. But then smaller than like Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, those types of games. I don't really think we ever got a particularly long handheld Zelda game. I mean, A Link to the Past was a port, but I guess you can kind of consider it to be a handheld, like, official one, because the A Link to the Past remake on the GBA, or remaster, whatever you want to call it, port, I guess that could be considered its own, but otherwise, Link Between Worlds, I feel like, was our longest handheld Zelda game. And for some reason, the thing can eat you even when you're going up the geyser, which I don't quite understand. But evidently, he can break physics, so it is what it is. And don't worry, because we're getting very close to our dungeon item. I know that that has probably been a big worry among everyone as to when the dungeon item will finally be acquired. But rest assured, it is going to be acquired very, very soon. And now that we have the 2 windmills lit, we got ourselves a nice little key. So we can drop down and get the key. Otherwise, you could go downstairs and attempt to keep bombing the wall outside. But you're never going to make it because it's too far away. So you'd just be wasting your time. So if you don't want to waste your time, then what you can do is get the bomb bag, which is going to be our next step. And I don't think there's any chest for killing all these guys, as far as I know. I think they're just there to intimidate you, which they do a good job of, because they're evil and want to eat Link. I really have no idea what I was doing right here. I guess I just was kind of wandering around. Now I finally get the key. And the boss battle of this place, I really, really enjoy. You'll see why, but it does like a multi-screen perspective, which it looks really, really cool. Like, on the top screen, you see like the top half of the area, and then on the bottom screen, it's just showing Link as usual. And then there's a boss coming up where one of the screen utilizes the enemy's perspective, and the other screen just shows you as normal. And here's it says bombs, but I'm assuming it's a bomb bag, so maybe that was a little error on their part. I don't know. But I kind of miss the like dual perspective thing that we got with some of these games. And it's a shame we're probably never going to see it again, unless they like make a second tablet for the Switch 2, which would kind of be strange, but I guess they might. I don't think they would, but we can hope, right? But chances are it's never going to happen again. We're never going to get that like dual perspective sort of boss fights that we've seen in some of these games. And you might be wondering, how do we get to that rupee on the other side of the wall? Well, we just have to bomb the wall next to it. Not like a crap ton miles away, but like pretty close next to this door, which you'll see me do in a second. You can also, I think, use your sword to figure out which wall to hit, but I might not have just been hitting the right spots, because the doorway is closer to here, I believe. So not this side of the wall, but the side over to the right. Right there. And now we can make our way this way, and we are slowly inching our way towards the boss fight of this dungeon, which, as I said, is really exciting, in my opinion. Probably the second most exciting boss fight I've experienced in this game so far, with the next, or the most exciting one, being the boss fight that comes after this one. And one of the items is kind of lame that we get later on. Like, I would say I like a lot of the items in this game, but there's just one in particular that we get. It's just, it's pretty, excuse me. It's pretty lame, in my opinion, because like a rehash of an item we already have, but it provides a different benefit, but kind of the same use. So it's a little lame, but what can you do, right? An item's an item. So I don't know. Someday I want to like see a development process for all the Zelda games. I know people have done videos about them, and there's probably some behind-the-scenes stuff on some Nintendo's websites, but just to see like a really detailed behind-the-scenes of some of these games, I think would be really cool. And who knows if that'll like ever happen, like a whole documentary-based thing on how Zelda games are made. I think that would be really cool. But until that day comes, I can only dream. And you can see there that the boss room is just in sight. We've slowly inched our way towards it throughout the dungeon. And now we are finally here. Now you might be wondering, how do I do this? Well, you might be able to do it with a spin attack. You can't do it with the boomerang. You do have to place a bomb precisely, I believe. Yeah, because it's instantaneous timer. So I guess you could throw a boomerang and then hit the switch at the same time. Or you just do it the counter way, like that. So you might have been able to do it with just one bomb, but nah, we can use two. And here's the boss key. So now we can fight the big old boss. And you might be able to just pre-throw the key up there and just let it levitate while the bomb goes off, but you know, for the safety of the key, don't do that. Because I'm assuming the key might be alive, and I don't know how it would feel if we chose to blow it up. So better we don't do that, and just make our way to the boss fight. And for some reason there's wind in this room too. I'm assuming all the wind must be coming from the boss, but I don't know. It just might be a really windy island. I don't know. I genuinely do not know what the cause is. See, this is the part I really like. The whole dual perspective thing that we got going on here. See, we've got Link on the bottom screen and the boss on the top, so you're just trying to figure out where he is, kind of in regards to those little tornadoes, and then once you find out where he is, you throw the bomb in the tornado, and then it'll go up to him and blow him up, and you can slash him with your sword a few times. And I think jump attacks are the way to go. Jump attacks or spin attacks, because those deal double damage, I believe. And then you just kind of go at him until he perishes. There's not really any other phases to this fight or anything. It's just hack and slash until he dies. So, I'm a little bit bummed out that some of the bosses don't have second phases, but I feel like they did the most they could for some of these. Like, the dual perspective thing is really cool, and I don't really know what else more they could have done with this fight. Right off the top of my head, maybe they could have done more, but in my opinion, it's like you're not too far into the game, so it's a good boss fight just for still learning mechanics and how the game's gonna work it, you know? And I feel like the bomb radius is pretty generous overall, so you don't really have to be precise with your tornado bombs, or like depending on where he is in regards to tornado, just has to be somewhat close to it. So see, like he wasn't super close there, but we still got him. And I think I'm going to end the commentary here, because the rest of it is just the normal temple ending stuff. So, I want to thank you guys all for watching. In the next video, I think we go back to the Temple of the Ocean King. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.